G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. This is Stew take 3. Every time I start having a chat, the shower comes over and on the sound there, I've done a couple of tests with the sound and yeah, look, it just blows right out. So anyway, we'll just have to go with that, I suppose. Yeah, look, since last week, when I was speaking to you last week, we've had 127 millimetres of rain, which is 5 inches. So all the tanks are overflowing. Yeah, the grass is growing like you wouldn't believe. We've got a bit over 100 millimetres worth of growth on the front lawn and we just can't get on it. Can't get on it to mow it, and if we do, it'll clag up under the mower. I've got a couple of, I've put the 135, I went and got the 135 the other day and brought back after the Christmas parade. I've got the Johnny 420 out in the paddock and we've put Christmas lights around them and, you know, lights around a few trees. And but I mean, lucky we got new gear stick boots on it because it's hardly stopped raining since. The John Deere's got a gear stick boot that's sort of like an umbrella under a tin cover, so it's okay. And the 135, well, it's under a canopy, so it's not too bad, but still not ideal. Yeah, first time we've ever put stuff out in the front yard, and we thought, oh, we're retired, you know, and we had the tractor dressed up for the Christmas parade in Bundaberg here, so we'll put it out the front. So we've done that, and people are coming past and having a look and seem to be getting a bit of pleasure out of it, so yeah, that's a good thing. It's been just raining on and off all the time. 55 millimetres night before last. I've had the camper out. We've got to go away this weekend to a party out in Mergen. And yeah, we're tossing up a few roads down Brisbane and that. They've had flash flooding and roads closed. And Gameri the other day, the highway was shut where we would go through. But it's open now, I see. But anyway, we'll just play that by ear. I went up last week on Monday. We went to Tony's place, you know, for the club, and I bought back a couple of. Well, we took stuff from Tony's place up to the club shed to help clear Tony's place out. Age is getting to him, and he's just sold a Farmall AV and a Farmall H, and he's working on a little LSB, lovely little tractor to take to show, something nice and small for him. And but in the shipping container, we had a couple of club steam engines and you know, model engines that an old bloke made. And when he parked up, the family don't. Well, look, they're not donated. They donated a lot of stuff to the club, but these are on loan, permanent loan from the family. So, and in sitting in the shipping container, I noticed on some of them they've got the just a bit of surface rust coming onto the flywheels and things. So I've chosen to bring them home here, polish them up, sort out any little things and get them back up into the big shed. Because they've been in a shipping container, well, shipping containers in our humidity at the moment, they absorb moisture. So it's a very humid environment and it doesn't do things much good. You've got to have whirligigs in the roof and try and get a bit of airflow to keep things in good order. And they also draw moisture up through the wooden floor. So these little engines, I've got 3 of them here now, and yeah, these little engines, I'm just going to polish them up and make sure they're running okay. And that there's a beautiful beam engine here, a steam engine, and yeah, just a lovely thing. But it's starting to show its age. You know, one of the corners on the platform's rotted away from old age. It was made in 2009. And yeah, look, it's just a lovely old thing, and I will, at the video at the end here, I'll crank it up for you. I've been fiddling with the taps and all that, like you had it running flat out or not, and the governor's working nicely now and things like that. So yeah, I'll start the compressor later and we just put air through it. And look, it seems to be a lovely little thing, yeah. So I bet it running there a little bit just sitting looking at it. It's just got a nice, easy movement to it to watch. The 65 have not done a thing. Well, haven't been able to film in the shed at all this week. You know, we may get 20 minutes, you know, an hour maybe of sunshine, and then you've got to have everything ready in that time, ready, set, go, and away you go, and the humidity's unreal. We're sitting about 30 degrees most days, so Pardon me. I did get onto the, you remember from last week I put the Massey 20 in the doorway so I could sit in the breeze and work on it. Well, the, oh no, I haven't got it over here. It had the temperature gauge on it you couldn't read anymore. The gauge was all flopped around. The oil gauge was a bit dicky on it, so I thought, oh well, I've got an oil gauge here and a temp gauge. I'll put proper good working ones on the dash and away we go. So I've got the temp gauge on. It seems to work all right. I've had it warm enough that it, you know, I've had it just off the needle on the bottom sort of thing, so that's okay. But the oil pressure gauge had it's got a little pipe and they've got a little JIC joiner and a pipe about so long, and that goes up to the gauge. And the gauge, I'm pretty sure they have a 3/8, I think it's a 3/8 UNF flare nut on that pipe. So I'd noticed that coming down the pipe there was a lot of dust and dirt on it from where it had been leaking a little bit. So I sort of cleaned all that up, had a look at the pipe, it looked okay. I put a brand new gauge on and the bloody thing leaked from under the flare straight away. And it was a worse leak than it was before. And so I tried to nip it up. And one thing that was annoying me about the gauge was that where you actually screwed the 3/8 flare nut into it, it just had a piece of brass sticking out there and there wasn't a flat to put a spanner on. There was a flat a bit further down, but that was to hold the gauge back in place. And when you actually did your flare nut up, if you held that front nut, you'd actually be loosening it off. So there was nowhere on it that you could really nip it up and hold against yourself with another spanner. So I was wondering, was I getting it tight enough? And anyway, so it started leaking, so I pulled it off and had a look, and I thought, well, the gauge is new, the flare looked okay. Perhaps I've got a little crack in the pipe. Sometimes you see a tiny little flare, a crack where the flare goes, and it's fatigue from work hardening from old age. So I had a look and got the torch out and had a look. I couldn't see anything. I thought, look, I'll just put a new flare on the end of it. So I didn't have the stuff here. Now I've had a little flaring kit here, and it's just a little one that come with some stuff I bought one time. I did have good ones, and then when I sold the workshop, I sold them. And I had bought a little pipe cutter, and on the rollers on the pipe cutter. Now this is from Trade Tools, of course. It's a Force brand, and if you see in the roller there, you can see a little gap. So you can put the flare in the gap and cut very close to it. So I cut the flare off and I just put a standard flare on, and I thought, well, that's okay, you know, standard flare for an oil gauge. It's only 60 pound, it's not a brake line. So in Australia for brakes, you must have a double flare. And put it all back on, bloody thing was pissing out. I couldn't believe it. And I thought, well, what am I missing here? So anyway, I thought, well, perhaps, you know, the flare didn't look the best. So I thought, I might pop into town and buy a good flaring tool, something that I can put a good double flare on, and away we go. So I actually went to Sydney Tools because there's a company in Australia, a company called Rigid, and they make really good flaring stuff for the building industry and that. And I used to have a Rigid one, and this is a knockoff of a Rigid one, and it's got a ratchet handle on it, and you can take it in. But when you take it in, I don't know if I can show you. Oh, might be bloody. Oh yeah, you can see that it's going round and round. It's on an eccentric, and I find that eccentric. Pardon me. A couple of things was with the eccentric. When you're doing copper, and you bring a standard, where are we? A standard tool down, and if this is part of the thread, which it is on this one, it can sort of gall on the copper a bit. You put a bit of lube there, but it can gall a bit. And yeah, I just always enjoyed using that one. So I went to Sydney Tools because they had one. Trade Tools didn't have one. And So I bought that, and I thought, well, that'll put a nice flare on for me. And because of that oscillating action, it's sort of a nice smooth flare. And you can do a copper flare in this, and it's just beautiful. You nearly got a polished finish. So I bought that, but the trouble was, to do a double flare, you've got to have a little guide, and as a, well, I'll get a big one out and show you. So I went to Trade Tools then, and I bought this other kit, and the reason I bought this kit is because it's got these in it. So for a double flare, you stick the pipe through the bottom clamp and you make it level with the top of this. That's your little step that tells you how far to push it out. Then that's got a cone inside it, and so then this goes down the tube, and then you push down on here, and that makes the tube compress and comes out into a little bubble. I'll see. There you go. That sort of says how it works. And so to do a double flare and be legal in Australia with brakes, yeah, you have to put this little tit in, push him down, that puts the double bulb, puts a bulge in it, and then you turn it, then you put this little thing down in after the bulge, or that puts the bulge in, and then you bring the standard, then you bring your other tool down, and that sort of doubles it over so your flare has a double edge and it's a bit thicker, and so it protrudes a little bit further onto the taper. So I went to town and I bought those two items, spent a couple $100, but anyway, only money. And I got the little pipe and I put a beautiful flare on it, and I was and you know, I'd sanded around where the nut was, where the clamp had got, and yeah, it was really nice, and I was nearly had a sore back from patting myself on it. It was that good a job. And anyway, I've got that bloody mud dauber wasp trying to build in my toolbox here. God, bloody things. And so anyway, I thought this is good, I'll put that on, put it on, pissed out, same thing. And I had another gauge there, and so I thought, right, I'll put this other gauge on. And they're both Sparrex gauges, and I put the other gauge on, brand new gauge out of the box, just in case there was something wrong there. Same thing, absolutely pissed out. And this is like 3/4 of a day's work by the time I run to town and buy a couple of bits of gig stuff and come back and, pardon me. And we got the grandkids over the holidays, so yeah, up there chatting to them, bugging around. Hang on a sec. Okay, back again. That was Trevor, the treasurer, club treasurer. He's just made a change to the membership form, so he's just running it past us. But yeah, with the gauges on the tractor there, I reckon the taper in the gauge is wrong compared with the 90-degree flare taper, and so I sort of had to find a way of proving that. And what I ended up doing is I got a 4mm fibre washer, where the female is on the engine oil pressure gauge. I put a fibre washer down there to take up any difference in angle or anything like that, and I put the nut up and just nipped him up, and bloody beautiful, hasn't leaked a drop. So I think the gauges might have the taper not 100% on them, and it might just be touching. And when I've got the torch out and I'm looking down one, I can see where it looks like the taper on the flare that I put on was just touching one side. It wasn't touching both sides. But so I got the flare and I sort of checked it out and tidied it up and all that, and it's still the same. So I got a feeling that the taper down in the hole where they go in down in and they cut the thread and they put the taper, I think that taper's the wrong angle, or, well, on one of them anyway, it must be offset a little bit. So, which fairly gave me the shits. Took me a day or so to do. But anyway, not to worry, we'll get there. And look, it looks good now. I haven't started it this morning. Yeah, I'm just trying to get the stew filmed so I can get up and edit it today and get it out on this Tuesday and go from there. the wet weather we've had, I'll take a photo and put it in here if I can, of our mango crop. Now we have a couple of lovely Bowen mango trees. You can hear there's a bit of rain and the shed's rattling, the doors are rattling, but anyway, I'll try and dial it out if I can. And it looks like, yeah, you can hear it. It sounds like thunder, but it's actually because I haven't pegged the doors. I usually put wedges in to stop that, but we're a bit hit and miss here today, I tell you. But yeah, look, our mango crop, it's great. I'll put some photos there. I'll try and get some photos of the tractors up in the paddock, but I am thinking with Christmas coming up, I was going to leave them there till after Christmas and pull them back in. But I think I'm going to have to shift them just to mow the grass a little bit. It looks a bit shaggy up there. Grass is growing that quick, and we're driving out of here on Friday for a few days, like I say, to a friend's birthday party. So we'll be back on, I think, Sunday, and then Christmas is Tuesday or something like that. Anyway, something like that anyway. But so next week I won't put out a stew with Christmas Day on it. We'll have family around and things like that. So yeah, we'll just spend time with family, and we'll hop off the camera for 1 week. You probably won't die. Well, you might. Just be steady. Take yourself steady in case. But look, it's been a good year, busy year with selling the business. Retirement is keeping me hopping. I'm doing a lot of club stuff. Like, yeah, this last week I've spent actually 2 full days on club stuff alone, just getting stuff sorted out. Sunday we had a committee meeting here, and so yeah, but it'd actually be 2.5 days for the whole week, just on club stuff, just sorting little knickknacks out, nothing serious. We had to have a discussion about the lease and things like that, so that's all good. So that's kept me busy, which is okay. Once I've got things in place, how we want them and how we just want to sort and shuffle a bit, that part of it will back off. We've only got to sort things out once and get organised. And I bought all the executive little thumb drives, so you can plug a thumb drive into a laptop, and I've downloaded all the club documents that they need, you know, membership applications, model rules for, you know, which is like our constitution, the junior competency guidelines for engines and tractors. Yeah, there's just a heap of stuff there. There's more, I just can't think of what it all. Oh, the property register, because yeah, we have a register of what's held in the property. The membership register, minutes of the meetings over the years, so we can go back through the history of the club and read what's going on. So I gave all the executive a thumb drive with all those documents loaded on. Then yesterday morning I was scanning books and things like that, club documents, and I scanned the W9 book, the Farmall H book, I've got the AAV book to do, the WD9 to do, International LA Engines book to do. So we're going to scan them. I'll probably put a copy on the Bundy Bear Shed website, and what I'm going to do is we're going to have a register of what we have of digital for the club members, and if they buy a TE20 and they want a TE20 book, well, they can either hop on my website and grab one for free, or we can have it as a register. So we're trying to set all that up and see how that goes. But once we've got it done, it's done, and yeah, we're all sorted out. I took 4 big boxes of books from the club shipping container to document them properly, and one box just says various books, and like we've got a stamp made so you can stamp each book and give it a property register number like a library, you know, RC Rum City Vintage Machinery Club 055, and then on the register that'll be a such and such book. So, but yeah, there was books donated by people, and they'll just put in various books. So we can't, the club can't use them, the members can't use them, and we have to document the club stuff. So we're just sorting all that out that wasn't done. Some of the things other people had, they just dropped back into the container and didn't write on in the book, well, what's in the container, what they've done. So we've got to try and just tidy all that up a bit, and nothing major, nothing serious, not going to change the world, but it's going to streamline things and make things easier for everyone. So anyway, so there we go. But look, I'm going to have to say Merry Christmas. It's only a week away. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all my viewers, subscribers, everyone. It's been a big year, like I say, with selling the business, taking on the club presidency. Yeah, it's just been a really big year for Lance and Jude. Next year we hope to travel a little bit, get out and about. We're definitely booked into the Fergie muster at Brendamere in New South Wales on the weekend of March 2021-22. Big Fergie muster down there, really worth going. We're going to bring the new owners of Queensland Tractor Spares, Dean and Nikita, down. Pop up a little Queensland Tractor Spares gazebo just so we have some shade. And, I'm going to see Winston and Ann if we could borrow some bales of hay to sit in there and just have a chat and just introduce them to everyone. And yeah, find a good thing. I was talking to Dean yesterday, and business usually backs off this time of the year, around Christmas time. We find people pull back because at the moment they're thinking of Christmas pudding, what they're going to buy as presents, going away, you know, where they're travelling, if they're having a break and things like that. So business pulls back. Then early January, after New Year's, everyone gets back home from the holiday and reality kicks in, and they look and they got to start slashing the paddocks and all that sort of thing. So business picks up early in the year again. So that's just how it is. But anyway, from Jude and myself, thanks for your support once again. Have a great Christmas, a good New Year. I'll talk to you early in the new year. I'm not sure when, but if you're subscribed, you'll know. I'll take you for a little walk now, and yeah, have a look at these little steam engines and things like that. So anyway, thanks for dropping by again, and yeah, have a great Christmas, everyone. We'll catch you next year. Okay, we're over here now with the tractor, and I've been working in the back there with this oil gauge, and that's a little pipe that I've been having strife with. Now, the gauge, I had a spare gauge here somewhere. Now I'm not sure what I've done with it. I swapped it out, and but yeah, once in at the back there, I put a little fibre washer. Well, that sealed it up, so it's okay. But yeah, look, I spent way too long on that. I'll probably change the fuel filters today and tidy up a couple of other little things. I have to get it moving to get the camper out because we're driving out on Friday. So I've got to pack that down. Judy's been in and made the bed and done all that. I've fixed the water leak and things like that. So that's ready to rock and roll when we are. So yeah, not too bad. Yeah, we'll just have to get a bit of organisation going on here. You can see out here, the paddock is beautiful and green. There's a wild dog running around down the back there. But yeah, I'll just take you for a little walk. And I got the big Johnny tucked away out of the weather again now. Jude got some of the grass off the slasher, but I need to do that before it rots away under the slasher. But yeah, the orchard here, look, it's looking lovely, lovely and green. But yeah, look at the bloody mango crop here. See, they're all Bowen mangoes. So we got to get up, and even a low branch there. And the kangaroos will pick them, and they'll sit there and they'll open one up like that and eat it. And if it's not to their liking, they'll leave it. You come back a couple of days later, and it'll be just the seed. So, yeah, little mangoes everywhere. I think these might be hard 2D2 or something or others. But you can see where the birds have been getting into them. And no, that's all right. They got a share, haven't we? But yeah, they're lovely. They're lovely. There's my hand next to a mango. So bloody beauties. So yeah, what normally happens there is I get the forklift over here and we put a safety pallet on it, and Jude hops up there and chops them. Now, when you pick a mango, if you say we chose this one here, pardon me. Yeah, when you pick a mango and you you chop it here, it spurts out this juice, and if the juice comes down the side there and you just let it sit, it sort of burns the skin, burns its own skin, and it can burn your skin too. When I was a young bloke, look at the birds over here. I'll just try and zoom in. See them over there, they're chewing at mangoes, and this little fella. Where is he? There he is. See, we're having a feed of the mangoes. Yeah. So yeah, we don't mind sharing a few, as long as they leave us some. I'll go back out again. But yeah, so what we do, you chop this, and then we put it straight in a bucket of water and wash them with water, and then they stay nice. Yeah, they're a lot nicer. So bit of work there. Yeah, the avocado trees and that are looking lovely, but yeah, the whole paddock, even this bloody gum tree here, you know, it's getting little flowers and all on it. So it's a good season. Like it's a really good season, and yeah, we can't complain. But anyway, it's inconvenient. We've got to do a lot of mowing, but that's fine. Okay, no microphones here, just as it happens. Now this is the little beam engine, and I've polished up the flywheel here, and I've got that okay. There's a post missing about here. It doesn't look like it might have ever had one, I'm just not sure. You can see where the old bloke he's painted up the post, and there's a bit of paint there. But look, he's done a lovely job of this engine. This pipe here was leaking, and I've just got it hooked onto compressed air, and yeah, you can see a few little leaks. An interesting thing is that the air comes up in here, and someone might be able to help me with this, comes up in there, goes straight through there, but there's a little hole that lets a bit of air in here. So unless this is like a muffler to give it a smooth flow, I don't know. I wasn't sure if I should put oil in or not, but yeah, it's a lovely little flyball governor engine, and you can see the movement there. There's plenty to look at when you have a look. Now it says beam engine 2009 by R. Truscott. Now Bob Truscott was the bloke that made it. He's passed away now, so we're just going, the club's looking after his stuff and putting it on public display. There's a little dynamo here with a little light, and yeah, once it's going you'll see. So all I've got to do here is turn the tap on, give it a bit of a helping hand. I'll just see over the back there. That's a lovely motion, isn't it? Now over the back, they have these keys, and these keys stop the movement in things, and one just fell out the back there. So I can override the governor with my finger a little. And I've tightened the flywheel, it was loose on the key. There's still a little knock there, I wouldn't mind getting out of it, but it's just a beautiful bit of gear. Something nice to watch. I was wondering this handle here, whether there was something that you could move that along and reverse the rotation of this here. And you can see the little light on there. It's just a little tooth belt with a generator. Old mate over here, they had him standing here, looked like he was coming up the stairs to operate the engine, but I had to get into here. So I've got him sitting up there just giving a bit of guidance. He doesn't say much. I'm just going to try and find where that little knock is, and then we can wrap all that up and take it back up. That's lovely. Okay, these are a pair of wire strainers that have been restored that we're going to take up to the museum. I'll put them down there. These Besser blocks have to go up under the shipping container. Now here's another engine they made, and look, I believe it's a hot air engine. I think you would put something under there. There's a little flat place like a tea light candle or something, and then this would turn and away she'd go. So I will get this running and make sure it's okay. It's got little caps on there for oils. I think Trevor made them. And it looks like this here, well, this looks like a cooling tower, doesn't it? Yeah, looks like a water pump. Well, this might be the pump, this section here. This will be the hot air engine displacement cylinders maybe. And it looks like it's drawing from here. I don't know what that's doing. Goes in there, and this might be a water pump in through there. But look, I don't know. I haven't spent any time on that yet. And there's a little Rosebery engine that he did as well. This is a petrol engine. You can see little spark plug caps, and this blows head gaskets a bit, they tell me. And on the back of the pump there, there's a little looks like a little centrifugal pump. Oh, that'd be a gear pump maybe. But yeah, but see the surface rust that was getting on everything, so I'm going to try and get all this going, make sure it's in serviceable condition, and yeah, polish it up and make it look like a nice display item. So that's just when I'm doing nothing. Everyone reckons when you're retired you'll be busy, and I'm happy to be busy. But yeah, look, that's a lovely little engine. You can see that would be, look, probably a 6-inch flywheel, maybe a little more, and a little flat leather belt going to the pump there to drive the pump. So I think, looks like it's a bit loose or something. Anyway, we'll sort all that out. But yeah, that's just what I've been doing when I've been doing nothing, playing with some of this stuff. But that little beam engine over there, yeah, she's just bloody beautiful. That's just a little look for you at the tractors out in the front paddock. The house is over there and the shed's way up the back, so yeah, we've got them all sitting out there with a bit of tinsel and things, and they've got solar powered lights. They light up of an evening, and yeah, we'll leave them there for a couple more days. The grasses on the little 35 was up to the rim at the back where that was all mowed. Well, it'll be a week tonight that I put them there. So there you go, everything's growing like buggery with all the wet weather and the humidity, but all in all, the place is looking lovely.